Namaste, angels. I'm here to do the full moon reading, the full buck moon, the full thunder moon, full moon in Capricorn. And as I said during the weeklies, I feel that it's going to be, you know, a time for us to like get back to us. Whatever it is your goals were, your passions were, that you sort of allowed to fall by the wayside and you got caught up doing something else or someone else or whatever. And then you like, it's like waking up one day and going like, you know, what is this? And how did I end up here? You know, and why? And how the hell do I get out? You know, because I'm ready to bounce. It's that type of feeling that I'm getting about this moon. So I think a lot of us are going to be, I think it has to do with maturity too. With the full buck moon, the reason it's called the buck moon is because the antlers of the bucks are so mature at the time. They got these big grand ones as opposed to the cute little, you know, Bambi type. You know, these are some real serious antlers because of the maturity level. So I think that's going to correlate to us, and perhaps particularly the masculine, because they would, you know, in theory, they would be the bucks, you know, technically. So it may more so be them. But I think some of that will extend to us too, in that we haven't necessarily been catering to ourselves either, or to the masculine, or to the union in a lot of cases, you know. So just letting go of a lot of the ego that we've been carrying, and for some, just it's the residual, it's what's left of the ego, because we've really been stripping ourselves for a long time now. All right, so I'm going to begin with my energy oracle. This is the deck is actually called Energy Oracle Cards by Sandra Ann Taylor. I'm starting with 5th chakra, Archangel Gabriel, card number 39, and it is the throat chakra. And I got a message from this card. I don't know if it's for a few of us, for like, you know, like a select few, if it's for the whole divine feminine collective. Like, it didn't really, I wasn't really sure. I said, this may be like personal for somebody. That was a feeling that I got. Somebody or a few somebodies. But what the message was the masculine wants you to call him, not text him, not email him, you know, whatever other means of communication there are. He doesn't want any of those. He wants you to call him. So I guess I'm sending this message out to whomever might get the notion, might have felt the push, and then said like, should I? Nah, no, you should. That's what he wants. Okay, and opening 2, Door to Value in reverse. 5th chakra, Archangel Gabriel. 7th chakra, Archangel Uriel, which is the crown chakra, in reverse. The sun upright, nice. Sun in reverse now. And financial constraints in reverse, which is pretty awesome, actually. The sun in reverse again. Patience upright. Interesting, because I'm beginning with the 7 of Earth when I use the Angel Tarot. The sun. And attachment in reverse. This is one of the things that the masculine wanted the feminine to rid herself of in the last, I think, like 2 moon readings. So interesting to see it in reverse. Maybe some of us have actually gotten to that and handled it. All right, I'm going to cut here. Woman holding a heart in reverse. You know what? I want to do the dice too before, because I forgot to do it during the weeklies, so I put them out for now. I'm beginning with Weekend Away, Eat Cake, and Email. Spirit says Party. Weekend Away, and Email. But for some of us, yeah, again, I'm going to tell you, we have to call. not email. Overall energy is patience in reverse. The feminine about herself. Magician and the mirror in reverse. I think I'll turn them over and then I'll come back to what each one means. The masculine about the feminine. Woman holding a coin upright. The masculine about himself. Fifth chakra, Archangel Gabriel, upright. And the masculine about the union as a whole. The sun in reverse. Overall, cornucopia, number 11, upright. And the outcome. First chakra, Archangel Michael. First chakra is the root chakra, the base chakra, in reverse. Magician in the mirror, in reverse, is about like being hesitant to take on something new. Being sort of afraid of your new beginning. The magician in the mirror comes to warn us that despite all of the elements that we possess, all the tools and powers we possess to do whatever it is we want to do, we're at risk of missing the opportunity because we're not grabbing it. We're not going after it. All the like perceived limit, and maybe some real, in a sense, somewhat tangible, but like self-imposed limitations and all of these things, we're supposed to let them go. I was watching that movie Selena, about the singer Selena. And her husband, Chris, at the time when he was her boyfriend, or even before that, he was this, I guess what would be considered like a punk, like one of these kids. He was like a rocker with long hair and tattoos. And, here she was, this very innocent type young lady from a very tight-knit family with a very strict father, like the complete opposite of him. But they knew they wanted to be together. And the father like refused, he was going to dismantle the whole band. He just wouldn't allow it. And she was willing to give up her whole career if she had to. She ran off and married him. It's like that. It's like, we're perceiving limitations. Like, my dad won't let me. My mom won't let me. What will society say? What will my neighbors say? I can't because I have children. I can't because I don't have the best job in the world. But like, you can postpone your life, but so much before it turns into a missed opportunity. And it's like passing you by. That's what the magician in the mirror is about. And if the feminine is acknowledging this about herself, it means that she knows she needs to get back in the game. Woman holding a coin upright. Now it's interesting because this is in the position of the masculine's feelings about the feminine. And so in that case, because women holding a coin in general upright is about, often it's an actual woman that comes into your life and brings either news or actual financial blessings. Somehow she's able to bestow financial blessings upon you, or the news of how, like, she can be helpful. She can be assisting you in getting these financial blessings. Maybe she's a bookkeeper or somebody that understands. Maybe she's a loan officer or something like that. But for the masculine to assign this card to the feminine, he's acknowledging what she brings, the energy that she brings to him, and the value that she not only brings to him, but that he sees, you know, like he sees her worth, is what he's saying. He's seeing like how expensive and like invaluable, irreplaceable the feminine is. Fifth chakra, Archangel Gabriel. This is the same card with which I started. And I was saying that I felt the masculine, potentially the masculine collective, but I just wasn't sure. I didn't feel that definitively, whether or not the message was for all of us. So I'm taking it again, that it is for all of us, in the sense that if you feel it, it's for you. If you feel a nudge that you are to call your masculine, but you were about to let the opportunity pass you by out of fear or something like that, here's a warning. That is what the masculine wants you to do. And now it shows up where he assigns this card to himself to say that he's ready to speak up, you know, on his own behalf too. That maybe he hasn't been very communicative, you know, all the time. But now he shows up not only, you know, with his throat and throat chakra fully like unblocked and ready to go, but with Archangel Gabriel's horn, or with Archangel Gabriel, but with his horn here, like to, you know, hear ye. I got really something to say, and I'm gonna say it. I'm not like holding back anymore. That's where the masculine is. The Sun in reverse. It's still a good card. When the Sun is in reverse in this deck, it's not really, it's pretty much, or in many ways, it's like this. It's like this magician in the mirror. It's saying that, yes, there may be some darkness, but you have the light. Like, you have the light within to always illuminate any situation. So there's no reason to be afraid. It's kind of like, yeah, a metaphor of being afraid of the dark when the Sun is in reverse. Like, so I'm still surrounded by good things, but I don't feel like I can necessarily achieve them, even though I otherwise have everything I need. I possess the light from within to illuminate the whole situation, but I'm still like fearful. I'm still holding back. And if this card is here representing the whole union, it can be like there's at least perceived blockages holding back the union. But, you know, are we standing in our own way? Is the question. And then at the end of the day, like I said, it's still the Sun. So it's still a positive card. It's still the masculine seeing the union as a very positive thing, and seeing the light, you know, in our collective soul as a couple, knowing that we can illuminate things, but feeling very restricted, that it can't move on. And maybe that's because of this. Maybe that's because the masculine, like the collective masculine's base chakra, root chakra, first chakra is blocked. Because this is about fear too. Fear, anxiety, the inability to move forward. The first chakra. This one sort of like governs the whole body. And if it's out of whack, you know, like it's like it makes us immobile. What the masculine is saying in a nutshell about this, about the union over this period of the full moon, so like, you know, like 2 weeks, let's say, is that it's time to move forward. It's acknowledging the fear, though, and the feminine is acknowledging it too, in herself. Acknowledging that it's time to move forward, but we're afraid. Why are we afraid? We're not sure, because we know that we have what it takes to move forward, despite whatever blocks. We know that life is, you know, short. and we don't want it to pass us by. So we know we want to go after what it is that's in front of us, this cornucopia that is in front of us, that is our unions. But we're afraid. Let's see what we're going to do about it. And we're impatient too. Our overall energy is patience in reverse. We're impatient too. Like, why hasn't everything just fallen into place on its own? Well, we got to take action. That's how, the laws of the universe work. What would the masculine have the feminine do or surrender toward fixing all this and bringing the union together over this period? Man holding a coin. Very interesting. It's sitting here crossing woman holding a coin. How cool is that? I think he's looking for us to look to him as like this support system. And it's not to be taken literal, because it's not about money. It's not about his money. But it's about his worth too, actually. The same way that I said that this could be about that the masculine describing how invaluable the feminine is to him. He's wanting his worth recognized too, even in the cases, I guess, where he doesn't see it, where he's stuck and limited by his own perception of himself when he looks in the mirror. He still wants us to acknowledge and go to him, call him. And maybe that's what he means too. Like, call on me, not necessarily call me, but call on me, call out to me, look to me as your support system, as your protector, as your man. Not just holding a coin, but, like that has your back, basically. Nice. What was he willing to do or surrender toward the union himself? Envy in reverse. And as it relates to the feminine, this is a big step. This is coming from this maturity of Saturn and Capricorn, I think, and the whole buck moon thing. Because this is coming into play where the masculine has at times been intimidated by the feminine. By, she is doing better than me financially, And a lot of times they're wrong about that, by the way, too. I've had conversations with a few of the feminine, and we're like, I don't know where he got that from, but, he thinks that I have this, that, and the other, or that I don't have the same problems, or I wouldn't understand his problems and things like that. It's wrong. But the masculine, we all have the potential to be presumptuous, but I was talking about the masculine being presumptuous in the weekly. But, maybe she has more money, or she's doing better than me. She doesn't have as many problems, whatever his problems may be. She's more intelligent. There's all different ways, or different reasons or perceived reasons for, one person to be envious of, envious of another, basically. He's letting that go. He's realizing how silly that was. And for some, it was because the intimidation, it had them feeling like they were less than, like the feminine, was the man, basically. And they didn't measure up to her, so they had turned into like a little bitch, which is inaccurate, because regardless of how they've been seeing themselves, and it probably goes both ways, they probably feel the same way about us, but regardless of how they've been seeing themselves, I don't know a feminine that, despite everything else, doesn't see her masculine as this, like, just larger than life character. Just huge. A king. A king. I hear the feminine calling the masculine, her king all the time. And I've told my masculine many times, I had never called a man my king in my life. I wasn't even sure where that came from at the time, because we weren't, it was early on. And here I am, here this word is flying out of my mouth with regard to this man that I'm like barely even seeing officially, at the time. From where did that come? It only come out in his regard. That's how I see him, like this huge, he's, 10 foot tall and made out of gold, practically. You know what I mean? So they're realizing that. They're realizing that maybe it was a little silly, maybe it was a little immature to have those feelings all along about the feminine. They're going to stop that. And what would the universe have the two of us to do or surrender toward the union? The world. The world. Now, in this deck, as opposed to the Angel Tarot, this is where you have to like dream big and realize, yes, the world is your oyster. What's ahead of you? This card says our resources are unlimited. And look, it's a 29 equals 11. Look what it's sitting next to, the overall energy of cornucopia. This is unlimited resources. This is what this card says too. Our resources are unlimited, but we knew that already, right? We knew that already. We knew that we were the magician. We had everything we needed. We knew that we were this, you know, we had the energy of the sun. We just weren't harnessing it. So this is the universe sort of like still driving home this same point that there is nothing that we can't do, especially not together. In the fairy tales, it's like not until the princess kisses the frog that, you know, they come into their bounty. Before that, he's just a frog, you know, and that he turns into a prince, right? Prince Charming. Before that, he's just a frog. But that didn't stop her from falling in love with him. That didn't stop her from seeing this little creature that she could hold in her hand as this larger than life being with whom she wanted to spend her time. And because the love was unconditional and true and pure, when she kissed him, when they came into agreement together, their souls came into agreement. And like, despite everything that's going to hold us back, like the fact that you have 2 legs, and, you know, and I have 4 and I hop, you know, through, despite all of that, we're going to conquer the world. The universe is guiding us to do the same thing. You know, despite the fact that I don't like my job or that I'm taking care of my, you know, sick mother and I'm still living with her and I'm 40 or whatever the case is. You know, despite everything, we can do this. We have what we need to do this. And maybe the fact that we haven't done it is in itself what has been the block to us doing it, if that makes any sense. All right, let me get to the other spread. Was I clear on this though? Yeah, we have it all. We have it all. We just have to acknowledge that and take it. And at least we have a good starting point here because we're acknowledging it in one another. If we haven't acknowledged it in the union or in ourselves, we're at least acknowledging it in one another. So we're halfway there. All we got to do is take the universe's advice and we can have this 1111. You know, we can manifest it into our own lives. How? Why? Because we've planted the seeds already. And look, there's another sun there. I just saw the 19 peeking out, and it's the sun in reverse again. But still, like the same way in the other card, in the other deck, that it was still an awesome card. This is still an awesome card. It's victory and happy outcomes. Maybe not as grand as they would be when the card is upright. But it's saying like the sun still always comes out. Everything is still going to be illuminated for you in your life. Your path is still lighted and all that. And you've already like dropped the seeds that you needed to drop in order to make things happen for yourself. Seeds well planted. So you might be at a temporary pause in action. Now you're waiting for them to grow. It's not a good idea to worry. Just trust, have some faith that everything is going to come to pass. And opening 2. There actually are no reversals in the Angel Tarot. Opening to the King of Earth, who is generous, professional, responsible, and practical. A successful time. Confidently accept opportunities you're offered. You have the Midas touch. The King of Earth is a Capricorn. So this card could be coming through because of the full moon. A Capricorn, a Taurus, or Virgo. 7 of Earth back. Opening to the 10 of Air, the end of a difficult situation. Embrace the change and expect things to get better now. Somebody may even be recovering from an addiction. Seven of Earth. Opening to the Queen of Earth, who's also a Capricorn, Virgo, or Taurus. Thoughtful, creative, warm, sensible is the Queen of Earth. Make time for those around you. Take a sensible approach and deal with challenges in a kind and understanding manner. Seven of Earth and the Five of Air. An unwise choice. Learn what you can from this situation. Review everyone's motives. The Five of Air is, for me, about not just conflict and challenging energy, but conflict and or challenging energy in which we had a hand. Like we had a hand in our own obstacles, basically. Like we brought this conflict upon ourselves in many cases, or it's in our, or we've like created it in our minds. It's self-imposed. Seven of Earth back. I'm going to cut. It's the Queen of Water. Tenderhearted, empathetic, patient, and loving is the Queen of Water. Relationships develop to a new level. Trust your intuition. Care for yourself and others. The Queen of Water is a Scorpio, Cancer, or Pisces. So maybe she's a Cancer because of the moon or the month right now. The overall energy is that Five of Air again. So a need for change and new energy, which is kind of, I think, what we saw on the other spread. It's time for us to be the change that we want to occur. The masculine is the Page of Earth. Scholarly, dependable, patient, and successful is this Capricorn is coming through really strong for this reading. Good news about financial matters. Wanting to do something more challenging and maybe even a new area of study for the masculine. Surrounded by the Ten of Air, the end of a difficult situation. Embrace the change and expect things to get better now. You may even be recovering from an addiction. The difficult situation may have been something of the earthly, of the financial, where he did not have the money to, he was waiting for this good news about financial matters. He needed it for whatever he wanted to do, however he wanted to further himself, whether it was school or a business venture, or just to get through life, or maybe in order to feel confident enough to approach the feminine. Whatever was prohibiting him in this regard, it's coming to an end. And it may have been an actual addiction, any person, place, or thing. It may have been a substance abuse that he's now overcome, and maybe that allows him to, like, maybe he couldn't work before because he was, on some sort of drugs or an alcoholic or something, and instead he had to go into a program or something, and that type of thing coming to an end. And his subconscious, wow, the Knight of Water. So in some cases it certainly is about him having wanted to come forward and maybe not having the material or financial tools, at least according to himself, that he needed in order to do that. Like, not thinking that she doesn't care if he's still a frog. He's thinking he has to be Prince Charming before he shows up. Falling in love or wedding proposals, the need to balance emotions, maybe even an invitation to a social event. The Knight of Water is emotional, romantic, enthusiastic, and contemplative. And he's also a Scorpio, Cancer, or Pisces, just like the Queen that showed up here before. Feminine, the Sun with Archangel Uriel. Happy outcome. Brilliant new ideas that lead to success. If you have confidence in yourself, that's the key to this whole thing, is believing that we can. Surrounded by the Seven of Earth. Seeds well planted. Just trust that you already, did what you needed to do. You made the moves you needed to make and the decisions you needed to make to allow for things to come to pass in the future. If you're worried, it's unnecessary worry. Feminine subconscious. Release with Archangel Azrael, or death, which does again represent the sign of Scorpio. So nice to have it here opposite the Knight of Water. Maybe where our minds are on the same sort of thing. It's the end of a phase or situation. It's also about spiritual transformation. It's time to move on. Aw, crowning. It's the two of fire. You've come into your own. New partnerships or contracts continue to move forward. I didn't mention that the sun also represents fire energy too. Leo, Sagittarius, Aries. At the root, it's renewal with Archangel Jeremiah, or judgment, which for me can also represent the sign of Scorpio or Leo. A favorable assessment of the facts. It's time to move in a new direction. Because you know what? This represents the planet Pluto. The judgment card represents the planet Pluto, which is the ruler of Scorpio. And it's about transformation, that planet. And it does come into play during the full moon. Pluto is in opposition. So that's another factor there. That's causing us in part, to face some of these things in our lives. Like maybe we've been fighting the transformation all along. Or again, maybe we slept it, we don't know what happened. We were, on drugs, whether there was a drug with walking with two legs or whatever it was. We were foggy, and now we're coming to our senses, basically coming to our senses and realizing this is not what I want to do. This is not who I want to do. This is not where I want to be, whatever the case is. And we're changing that. We're taking our power back. We're taking our own personal matters into our own hands and out of the hands of other people. Here at the heart of the matter, the strength to do all that also represents the sign of Leo. Great inner strength. Release harsh judgments. Forgiveness and compassion instead. Can also be here for Aries or Sagittarius. And it's calling for us to release harsh judgments. Here's the judgment here. The judgment card can be about this abundance, especially crossing the 7 of earth and being rooted here with the masculine crown by the page of earth, because renewal is similar, or judgment is similar to the 3 of earth, in that it can absolutely be about the boss, your boss, or somebody who is in a position, woman holding a coin, man holding a coin, in a position to make you more fruitful in your life, with a watchful eye on you, wanting to give you some sort of promotion, raise, elevation in your financial. And this, for us, boss, can be the universe itself, can be the queen of earth that came through herself before, the goddess Venus, goddess of money and love. That can be who's helping us. And for some of us, we're entering partnerships of a business nature, possibly with somebody that we know we're in love, possibly with our divine partner, but we're entering into material abundant, financially abundant partnerships with somebody. Happy outcome there. For others of us, we're taking advantage of that other Venus energy, the loved one. And some of us are doing both. Again, we're entering into business partnerships with people with whom we're romantically involved. And it's just going to be like the ultimate 2 of fire, which is the 2 of fire is the divine union, or quote unquote twin flame card of the tarot. So I saw in both weeklies a twin flame card. So that is definitely an overlying theme this week, or during this period as well. All right, so speaking of all that love and all that stuff, I want to look at romance cards too, and I'm beginning with soulmate, just like I did in the weekly love reading. Yes, this is your soulmate. Opening to true love. This is the romance of a lifetime. True love. But some of us got to release our ex. The time has come to clear our energy. And this may not be an actual EX. For some of us, this is going to be a capital X. And for those of you who are not familiar with what I mean when I say that. So for example, St. Andrew was a martyr. And when he was sentenced to death and he was going to be put to death, he was made aware that he was going to be crucified, sort of like Jesus. And he said, I'm not worthy to be crucified on the cross. Give me an X. So he was nailed instead to a giant letter X. But that was him coming out on the world, unto the world, like the way he wanted to. Even in his death, or even going to his death, he was going to do it like the way he wanted. That's what I mean by release your X. It's like you're coming out. You're big coming out of the closet to the world as, whatever, whomever it is you want to be. more literally, yes, this card means release your EX. It means you have some sort of cords of attachment, even if you're not still in physical contact with them or anything. You have like emotional cords of attachment or something still connecting you that need to be cut. And for some, perhaps with the masculine, again, you're doing that already. This is an end to codependent relationships, with anything. Codependent relationships with food, or other things that can be toxic, other people, places. We're cutting off, whatever it is to which we're connected in a negative way. Open to getting to know each other. As you reveal your innermost selves, your bond deepens. Release your ex. And engagement. Your love life is ascending to a higher level of commitment. I'll go one more. It's flirt. Extend your lighthearted energy to others. Release your ex. Give your relationship a chance. Work on your partnership. And the overall energy is make the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. I missed one. And I did it out of turn now, because that's not the order in which I would normally do it, but things happen as they're meant to. Okay. The masculine here atop the page of earth, and this news of abundance, maybe that's coming through by women holding a coin, is you deserve love. You are lovable. Here atop the 10 of air, whatever this obstacle was, we had this period of having to wait for this to be over. It's finally the end of this difficult situation. It's okay. It was worth waiting for. Divine timing is at work in your love life. Here atop the Knight of Water, healing family issues. Your love life benefits as you forgive your parents. So this may be reflecting the emotional nature of this moon, again, coming from the Cancer. The zodiac sign of Cancer is going to add emotion. And also that Pluto opposition is adding emotion to this period where it otherwise might not be there, because Capricorn and Saturn is more of a sort of static energy, right? It's not watery at all. This is all earth. This changes things. So during this period, some of us may have some family issues that we're going to be working on, not necessarily with your parents. Anybody who has been an obstacle to you, close friend, family member, that like is so impactful upon your life that you were unable to move forward, is with whom you need to heal these family issues. And the masculine, at least thinking about it, contemplating it, maybe about repairing something, a relationship with somebody. And maybe he's thinking about walking away from them too. That's another way to heal those issues, just ending a relationship. You know what, that came up in the weekly too for the masculine, like changing with whom he surrounds himself. It was the Unity card sitting next to this 5 of air. That's our overall energy. And when I picked this up, also behind it is the 9 of air, expecting the worst and self-fulfilling prophecies, sleepless nights. So the masculine possibly keeping himself up at night, worrying about how to handle some of these things. And the best way maybe to just drop them, just end it, just decide, that you're done. That sits atop the Queen of Earth, which is also upright, and with whom he needs to heal this. It remains to be seen whether or not that person is an earth sign, but that came through too. And it also, it couldn't be, this, as it relates to family issues, the family member, maybe his mother, is what's coming through with this. Okay, feminine. Atop the sun, flirt. So they want you to act like a youthful sign, I guess like a Sagittarius, right? Maybe a mutable sign. Extend your lighthearted energy to others. Now it would make a lot of sense. The sun actually in the tarot represents the sign of Sagittarius, although the sun, Earth's star, is the ruler of the sign of Leo. But also this card for me represents Sagittarius. So it's like we both would have it here opposite. And I think that Sagittarius is where the moon will be, like right before it moves into that Capricorn energy. I believe so. So maybe some of that. And I think Jupiter also comes into play toward the end of the week, maybe like Friday. So Jupiter rules Sagittarius, and that can be from where all of this fire is coming from. And the passion and the need to be lighthearted, again, maybe like a youthful, playful Sagittarius. Surrounding the feminine, atop the seven of earth, right? Be patient and wait. You've already planted the seeds for this to grow, and it is growing. It's ascending to a higher level of commitment right now as you speak, your love life. And here atop, right underneath engagement, and the top death or release is wedding in the feminine subconscious. This situation involves marriage. Atop the two of fire, forgiving and learning. As you release and heal the past, you experience more love in your present moments. So this is taking us back to getting, letting go of some of these other situations that we previously allowed to hold us back. And just taking the good part, the experience, and what we learned, the lessons learned, and leaving the baggage of any regret and resentment or pain or whatever it was, leaving all that behind. At the root here, atop judgment, new love or love anew. So judgment as it relates to love, I told you what it meant in relation to like work and stuff, and in a general sense it's about, you know, not judging yourself or others too harshly. But as it relates to love, it's like a make or break moment where we have to, you know, we come together and decide, like, what are we doing? The same way I said that I was feeling about this moon, that for individuals it's going to be like, what have I been doing? What am I doing? This is where a couple comes together, and any kind of relationship, any kind of partnership. It could be friends and stuff, but it's a make or break moment when you come together and decide once and for all what you're doing. So we're deciding on new love. We're deciding on love anew. And here at the heart of the matter, the reason why we're deciding that, because this could be the one. We've already met the romantic partner we seek. And how beautiful is that? For this could be the one sitting here next to engagement, crossing new love, sitting atop wedding, new love sitting next to wedding. So we got this beautiful little cluster here of awesome things to come. All right, so I'm going to do the advice then. For my Keepers of the Light Oracle, I'm going to begin with the Holy Spirit. Expect miracles. Remember that only love is real. Miracles will occur naturally. Spirit has your back. And opening to the Shekinah, sacred self, unleash your spirit, express your gifts, dance the sacred rhythm of life. Holy Spirit. And the Holy Amethyst, divine alchemy. Move beyond current challenges and focus on what you desire. These cards coming through with messages just exactly as what we've been talking about thus far. Holy Spirit back, and opening to Mercury and open communication. This goes perfectly with that throat chakra. And the fact that Mercury will be in Virgo during this period, if I remember correctly. Get a weight off your chest. Speak up with love and be heard. Mercury now at the bottom. Mercury will be in Leo. That's where it'll be, not Virgo. Leo. Coming to devotion with Krishna. Trust your spiritual guidance. Your commitment has been recognized. You are loved unconditionally. And the overall energy is Serapis Bay and Ascension. Move into true self. Rise above the darkness. So like that sun card from the first spread, where I was saying, even where there's darkness, we have to always remember that we can illuminate that and move beyond it. This is what this is saying. The light is here. It's here. It's within you. And lastly, I have both my Goddess Oracle and my Gods and Titans Oracle. And I was going to use the Gods and Titans for the masculine and the Goddess for the feminine. And just read you the very short summaries of the cards with which I'm beginning. For the masculine, it's Osiris and renewal. And it's very much about what we've been discussing so far. You know, he is the ultimate in death, right? This is the Scorpion King here. So he's like the king of this, of death and rebirth. Let go of something old so that something new can come into your life. Something new and even more beautiful than what existed before. For the feminine, I'm going to use my Goddess Oracle. I'm going to begin with Shakti. And I'm going to read you guys the little summary from this, for the book for this too. But this pretty much what it looks and sounds to be about. It's about our chakras and a little bit about the goddess herself, Shakti. I'll tell you. All right, the masculine first. Osiris, renewal. Pay attention to your need for rejuvenation and renewal, both physically and mentally. So this, I just picked up that card before, the 9 of Air. Okay, this is speaking to something like this. Some of you might not be getting enough sleep. Some of you may be mentally exhausted, physically exhausted. Pay attention to your need to be rejuvenated, be hydrated, get enough sleep, get enough exercise, remember to eat, like all of that stuff. You are invited to experience the magic of hope, but you got to be like together in order to do that. The self-care. This is taking us back to the self-care. And now the feminine. In Hindu India, Shakti, the goddess, is active, powerful, vital. She's the animating force of the universe. The masculine is the passive, inert, dormant force. Each Shakti has her god with whom she unites in a sexual union. Without union, neither can do anything. Maybe I should repeat that sentence. Without union, neither can do anything. So I was talking in the other spread before about that perhaps the main obstacle has been the fact that we have not come together. It sounds like that's what this is saying too. Without union, neither can do anything. So even if you're still a frog, it's time to move forward. If you've felt the push to move forward and know that you can, know that a frog possesses enough of what it needs in order to do that. To the tantric mystics, the ultimate union with Shakti happens at the moment of death. Didn't I say letting go of something old to give birth to something even more, new and even more beautiful? Shakti, portrayed here within the luminous world egg, is protected by the serpent, Kundalini, and the emanation of her own divine energy. Okay, Osiris. And opening to Eros and love. Eros. Hypnos and sleep. Some of you really do need to get some rest, or at least like rest your mind. Like sit down, have a seat, and like find some peace at least. This is to the masculine, by the way. Hypnos. And Nuada, perfection. This is what a lot of you have been looking for, right? Perfection. You don't want to like even make an attempt until you feel like you have everything and you possess, you know, all the power. That time is probably never going to come. You know, like there's always something that we wish we had. We always wish, you know, we could be a little bit better. We're never completely prepared for life. And when you think about it, would you really want to be if you think about it in a serious way? Jade Emperor, organization. The overall energy is Guarda and travel. I think this is about forging ahead. I mean, look at this picture, right? Moving forward. And the masculine's card is this one. And now the feminine, beginning again with Shakti and opening to Maya, an illusion. Shakti. Isis and mothering. This is about the nurturing again of self and of others and of the union itself. Isis. And Inanna, embracing the shadow. Taking us back to the illumination and darkness together, confronting one another. Isis, I'll go one more. And it's Minerva, beliefs. Isis. Yamaya, surrender. Perfect for a moon reading, right? That feminine energy of surrender that the moon provides. So green Tara, our overall energy, is in another Indian goddess, and she comes through to help you to clear the path from in front of yourself. So this, I think, is taking us back to, again, standing in our own way, potentially, and the removal of obstacles and the fact that we have the tools that we need in order to remove them. She also reminds you, like she helps you to find your inner strength. And we have that strength here at the heart of the matter. So I think that this is a connection to this too. She helps you to find your inner strength and to, how do I want to put this? She helps you to realize like your true whole self. It's like self-mastery, basically. Yeah, I can't think of a better word. Self-mastery is with what she helps us. Okay, and the feminine's card there. But first, from the Keepers, I can't even get the word out of my mouth. From the Keepers of the Light Oracle, it's Radha and Soul Flame. So now the third reading that I've done this week, they've all been like, you know, quote unquote, twin flame, soul mate, over and over and over. So that connection hasn't left us for 1 second. And it's here with the masculine again. Rediscover a lost part of yourself, masculine. Experience relationship harmony and healing. The feminine from that same oracle, higher learning. You have learned from experience. More inner study is now required to further progress. That's the kind of thing that green Torah helps you with, the centering. From the romance angels to the masculine, reconciliation. I think this is the same card that came out for them in the weekly. In either case, in any case, someone from your past masculine is returning to your life. And maybe it's your soul flame, right? This is going to help you to rediscover this lost part of yourself when you get back with this person. Aw, feminine, soulmate. Yes, this is your soulmate. Very nice. From the energy oracle, the thinking woman in reverse. Huh. Interesting, masculine. This may be one of the people you're leaving behind, actually, is what I'm getting. Feminine, action in reverse. Well, I'm going to take this as a warning. Well, no, what? I was about to say I'm going to take this as a warning and to avoid inaction, but I just got no, that's not what it is. It's related to this. It's intentional inaction, a temporary pause in action. So don't worry, just let it be. And you just be as well, including me. I gotta just be too. I was about to panic. That's what the universe is saying. Like, no, relax. From the angels to the masculine, the two of earth, too much going on at once. There's a need to make a decision. Consider a more playful approach. So the masculine juggling many things. Some of them may be working more than one job. Maybe that's why he's so exhausted, or he's got a bunch of things in his mind. That's why he's mentally exhausted. And he just really needs to have a seat and like gather himself, his thoughts, his peace, get some rest, take a nap, and then think about like where he wants to go from there. Masculine, this thinking woman too can represent a woman that's been misleading you. And I keep getting mother. I don't want to say somebody's mother is misleading them. Maybe she doesn't mean it in a malicious way. I'm going to try to think positively in that respect. But she's been directing you away from your heart's desires, whatever that, this is a general reading too. It's not just love. So whatever they are, maybe moving you away from, yes, a person with whom you want to be, or moving you away from a job that you want to do, or whatever. Your heart's desires, somebody navigating you away from that. It doesn't have to be your mother, but that came through. This could be, another family member, maybe female family member, or feminine energy that's a family member. Can be a friend or somebody you believe to be a friend. And it may be malicious, but it doesn't have to be. But they're trying to move you away from what you want. For others, the thinking woman in reverse is you feeling lost, which I talked about in the general and the love reading for the week too. Like the masculine just feeling disconnected and from himself even, and not knowing like which way to go. And then, yeah, juggling so many things. He's got too much going on, and he's got nothing going on, like at the same time, or at least that's the way he feels. It's basically taking me back to with what I started. What am I doing? Like it's that wake up moment when you look around and go like, what the hell am I doing and why? And is it what I want to? If it's not what I want to do, if it's anything that anybody else has been moving me toward, and I'm sitting here and I'm realizing it's not what I want, I'm going to stop it right now. So when I say this might be from whom he's walking away, it may not be an actual person. It may be a thing. Again, it may be a job. It may be a home. It may be a person. And it may be somebody who is misleading you. And more likely, if it is, a female. From the angels to the feminine. Unity. So we may need to change around, with whom we surround ourselves as well. That's a possibility with this card. This card can also be speaking to the commitment that is coming to some of us, the wedding that is coming to some of us, or the wedding, the marriage that already exists between two partners, divine partners. Traditional viewpoints and methods. Spiritual organizations seek out mentors and like-minded friends. I got all those. So I'm going to go to the Gods and Titans Oracle for the masculine, and this one I'll read. They got Poseidon and Flow. And feminine from the Goddess Oracle, Sheila Nagig and Opening. Poseidon, Flow. Expect a greater flow of creativity, ease, or prosperity. This card is a siren call to protect and enjoy the stunning oceans of the world. As gentle as a lagoon and as destructive as a tsunami, Poseidon is one of the greatest gods of the Greek pantheon. One of the sons of Kronos, he rules the sea. His brothers, Zeus and Hades, rule the sky and the underworld, respectively. He was beloved and feared at the same time. Sailors in the ancient world would often make sacrifices to him before a voyage, and fishermen took part in great seasonal rites to appease him. Some rites were as straightforward as singing to him in a storm, while some sailors and fishermen traced his trident upon the shore before entering the sea. Yet other rites were bloodthirsty, matching this god's violent power. The essential defining feature of water is its flow. Poseidon controls the flow aspect with great power. Call upon him when you need a flow of anything in your life, but in particular, creativity, abundance, fertility, or prosperity. In modern times, we need to protect the sea more than ever. We have caused many imbalances in our oceans through overfishing and pollution. We need to call upon Poseidon for his help in protecting this domain. Today, many organizations linked with the sea use his symbolism. The Sea Shepherd Conservation Society uses the trident as a symbol on its flag as they protect whales and other sea creatures from death. Surfers, sailors, fishermen, and anyone who has a deep love and appreciation of the ocean would do well to communicate regularly with Poseidon. He is said to protect his own and will give secrets of the sea to those who honor him. Knowing which surf break is going to be the best or how to perform well while sailing is a secret worth having. Shadow side. Poseidon is notoriously changeable. Whole armadas of battleships were lost if Poseidon was not on their side, and he would exact quick and lethal revenge if he so chose. Too much flippant change around emotions can lead to drama. It is important to be as balanced in our feelings as possible. While going with the flow is good, being too changeable can lead to instability and not being able to make good decisions. And some of you may have a decision to make, so you don't want that. This can mean a decision that needs to be made. Pay attention to how flow is playing out in your life at present. Be aware that hanging on to a grudge or an imbalance will interrupt the clean flow to what you desire. Yeah, so definitely death to anything that's old and holding us back. Sheila Nagig, Opening. I flash my vulva for all to see. I stretch it wide. The gateway that all comes through, the passageway to life. I say, come through my doorway. Open yourself to what is. If you have something important, show it so everyone can see. I am the opening to this world, the sacred and the silly, the wild and the woolly, the bold and the brazen. I am the hag, opened by so many turnings, broken down, broken in, broken through. I'm the portal to life, and I say, open up. Mythology. Ancient Irish, I don't know where Greek was coming from, goddess of birth and death. Sheila Nagig is a grinning figure with both hands holding open her yoni adorned many churches and a church doorway. So there used to be like a picture or something of Sheila holding her vagina open above church doors. This went on until she was torn down or smashed by the offended. The Celts honored the sacred power of a woman's genitalia and used sculptures of such for protection. Sheila Nagig is portrayed here as a hag, which means a woman of wisdom. She's in all her glory here, rib cage of bone, breasts dried out and sagging, with few remaining teeth and little hair, yet vibrant and defiant in the beauty of her age. This beauty is the right of all women to claim. She dares you to look at her, to face your fears of aging and of triumph in your celebration of what will age and die. Meaning of the card. Sheila Nagig grins at you provocatively and invites you to join her in opening. Now is the time to open to new experiences, people, places, and things. Now is the time to begin new projects, forge new directions, venture out boldly. The universe invites you to come out and play. Perhaps you've had to contract yourself and your energy to deal with a wounding, a grieving, or an ending. Or you haven't felt it was safe to open up. You may have needed some time of seclusion, sorting out and focusing inward. Sheila Nagig is here to remind you that a period of contraction is followed by expansion and opening. It's time to nurture wholeness by integrating what the stretching, expanding, and opening will bring. I hope that you guys found this reading helpful. Maybe I should tie it together to end. It just looks like 2 weeks of tying up loose ends, for lack of a better phrase, in our lives. And love. And love. Soulmate love. Twin flame love. Soul flame love. Reconciliation. Self-love. New love. I hope that you guys find it helpful. Namaste, angels.